Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us at our Lunch and Learn today. We have some really good Google Meet updates to share with you. I am Tasha Burkpeart with EdTech, and we have,
Hi, everyone. It's Rebecca Smekla, also from EdTech.
yes, and we're going to be here to just kind of go over some of the updates, the biggest integration being Meet in Google Classroom. Rebecca's going to go live just to kind of walk us through that whole process. Before we do that, just a couple of reminders. We do have moderators in the chat over to the right. So please feel free to chat your questions. And we have several people there. You'll know that they're moderators because they have a little wrench by their name. So go ahead and put your chats there and they'll be able to answer your questions. If you want to look at this again, you have a couple of options. You can go ahead and subscribe, hit that red subscribe button. We're over 1,000 subscribers, so we're really excited about that. We also have the videos on our website, edtechtraining.palmbeachschools.org. And if you look at the very top right, we'll have live stream resources and Google Meet and everything that we've done, Google Meet 2.0, and now Google Meet 3.0, all of that will be on our website. And I'm going to go over the website a little bit later. I'm just going to do a little quick intro to what you'll be seeing with Rebecca. We've already talked about these updates, right? So just as a reminder, only teachers can mute or remove students. Students are not able to join nickname meetings. That was our 2.0 edition of Google Meet, where you were able to sort of do the nicknames from meet.google.com, and then you give the students the nickname. We have tested this extensively, and now we do know that it is more secure by doing it that way. And then we also went over some third-party extensions that make the experience more friendly for your students. The grid view and the nod extensions, those are some really helpful things to help you with managing your class when you're doing a Google Meet with them. But this is the biggie. This is our 3.0. Google Meet is integrated with Google Classroom now. So within Google Classroom, you can now generate your Meet link, and the students will join Meets from Google Classroom, either from the stream page, it'll be visible in the header, or in the classwork page, and there's actually a tab for Google, or a little icon for Google Meet there. We do know that several of you may not be using Google Classroom. Maybe you're in fine arts or you see multiple classes at a time. The nickname feature still works. The nickname feature still works, and it is secure, giving students the nickname. But we're getting ready to turn over to Rebecca live so she can walk us through that workflow and how this works with Google Meet being integrated in the classroom right now.
All right, thanks, Tasha. Okay, as Tasha said, we are at Google Meet 3.0, but this is the one. This is really, really great. Google has made some great improvements. We're going to walk you through what this looks like. So to first set up your Google Meet inside a classroom, you're going to need to go to the cog in the right-hand corner inside of one of your classes, and that's your settings. Down in the general section, so scroll on down, you're going to now see a section for Google Meet. Yay! And I've already generated a code here, but I have some options where I can click and I can either copy this code or I can reset this code. And we'll talk about the benefits of both of those a little bit later. And then I also have an option to make the code visible to students, right? So I'm going to click over into the student look, and you can see right now there is no banner. There's no link in the banner, right, for students. So I'm going to go ahead and make this visible for my students. Notice you will have to save this in the top right-hand corner, but once I do, I am now going to have a hyperlink right inside of the banner. If I click on the classwork tab, I'm also going to have an icon link right here, and I can go ahead and start the meeting directly from Classroom. So I'm going to go ahead and click into my Classroom. And you'll see I'm here, no one's here. I'm going to turn this audio off so I don't get any feedback. And as the student, if I click into that link, you're going to see they're not going to be able to join because I'm not in the classroom yet, which is a great update. So now I'm going to go ahead and join the classroom. And I'm the only one there. I'm the teacher. If I go back into the student experience and click the link again, now I'm going to be able to join because my teacher is there. Great improvements. So let me go ahead and cut my audio and join. And now it's me, but I'm the student. So as the student, I'm going to now leave the call, or if the student forgets to leave the call, the teacher can go to the People tab, choose the student's name, and just remove them. Okay, now as the teacher, I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to hang up, and I have left the meeting. If I go back into the student version and they try to go back into that meeting, they are not allowed to join the meeting at all anymore now that the teacher's not there. So this is a huge improvement. So I still have it visible though. So I'm going to go back into my settings, and I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to make this invisible to my students. And as a best practice, I'm just going to reset the code. And you say, why would you reset the code? Well, this code, if your meetings are the same time every week, 11 o'clock, you're meeting on Mondays, you don't want your students sharing these links with other students. So resetting the code will allow you to keep it super secure. So I do want to point out another option, and that is clicking this copy button and save. And going back into the stream. So let's say I have 3 classes and I want them all to meet at the same time. Then I would just type into the stream, please join today's meet. And I would put that code in, and then I can say I'm going to send it to these 3 classes on the stream. And then I would post it, and so that way all 3 classes could join by posting it on the stream and attaching it to those 3 different classes. And then it's not visible here, but it is in the stream if I want to go in later and reset that code, so it will still be secure. And that is the integration with Meet inside of Classroom. Any questions?
Yeah, actually, lots of questions, trying to type as fast as I can.
Okay.
So a lot of people are continuing to ask about links. So when we switched over to the code version, you don't really ever want to share a link with the code version. That's just the code. That's for fine arts teachers. Now inside of Classroom, as you can see, Rebecca posted joining the Meet that way. But you don't actually have to paste the URL either. They can click it at the top in that header bar if she has the view on. So when she goes down here and turns back on view visible for students, you could just say, please visit, our Meet, and they can click see how it appeared. Or at the top of the classwork tab, it's also there. So when you get to the top of classwork, there's also the option to join the Meet there. So you don't really, that way you're not sharing a URL with people. So
the only time you would want to do it the way I did it in the stream is if you want multiple classes to come to the same Meet. So if you have block 1 and block 2 and you have those in different classrooms, then you can invite 2 classrooms or 3 classrooms to the same Meet. Otherwise, if you just have 1 classroom, the preferred easiest method for students is just for them to be able to click the link right in the banner, or as John said, right inside of classwork.
So the question keeps coming back, should we still or can we still use the nickname version if we're using Classroom? So if they're already using Classroom with their students, just meeting with that class, should they use can they still use the nickname or no?
They can, and it works the same as it does inside of Classroom. If they are comfortable with that, we tested it today. Students cannot join a nicknamed room, and they cannot rejoin after the teacher has left.
Yeah. So, obviously we would recommend this workflow if you're using Classroom with your students, but if you prefer that Meet, to having them go to meet.google.com and typing in a code, just remember it is possible that your code could be figured out.
Correct. And what happens in Classroom is it's still doing a meeting nickname. It's just doing a randomly generated nickname. So you can see here, I have just a code. You could go to meet.google.com right now and put that code in and join. Now, students would not be able to join unless a teacher is in there because it's based on the organizational groups.
Okay, so still lots of questions. It is currently available. This option inside of your classroom is live. It actually showed up last Friday. You probably saw a little pop-up at the very top like most of us did throughout the day on Friday. Lots of questions on should we reset the code inside of Meet or how often we should do it. Should you do it at all, Rebecca? Recommendations?
I mean, I would reset the code because, like John said, once it's visible on the class stream, and let's say most of us probably are meeting at the same time every day or weekly. We meet every Monday at 11 o'clock. If you had this this URL, then students could potentially share that link with other students and have students jumping into your class. But that is pretty much eliminated when you reset the code. It really depends on your situation. If you haven't had any trouble with it at all before now, you don't really need to reset it because students can't join it unless you're there.
Okay, so how can I do this simultaneously with another teacher who's in my class? So if you're a co-teacher, it's not going to give you two different links. So if you want to split your class in two, that's not going to be possible. You would have to give one a code to join one way and the other half, the other way. That's really the only way you could do that.
Right. You could do it through nicknames.
Yeah, the nickname version is probably the best.
2.0.
Yeah, 2.0. And I believe we actually pulled down what we're calling the 2.0 directions. Because our links to the latest directions, but we will probably have to put back the older way as well for those fine arts teachers of sharing it through the Meet. Okay. I'm seeing some positive things. Jennifer Warner, here it is in StreamView, that they're actually quite happy with this. It's much easier for ELL students. For primary students, they don't have to type in anything anymore. I would agree with that, and it's good to know, Jennifer, you've been using it all week and it's been working. We just so everyone knows, obviously Google is working a lot on updating their virtual and remote learning products. So this has kind of been their first push to get things updated, but it's our guess within the next few weeks that we will start seeing a lot more updates coming through Google, through Meet, through Classroom, all those tools very soon. So we will pop in these lunch and learns as needed as we get these updates. We don't know obviously what's coming and when. We kind of heard that this feature was coming, and then every day we were going in our classroom and checking it out. Again, you can always just take a look and see what Google's releasing when it's released and see how it works yourself. So when you're doing this question here is, when you're doing this type of Meet, can you only invite specific students?
So when you're doing this type of Meet, you're going to be inviting the students in your classroom. And so anyone who is a part of my classroom can just click the link. However, if you wanted to have multiple classrooms join, you could send them a specific link, just like this. Or you could also do a meeting link with just, specific students. I only have one student, sorry. It's not a great example. But yeah.
Here's a unique question. Yeah, here's a unique question though, Rebecca. When you generate the link in the settings, if you don't make it visible to students, you could technically still share that link. It's not visible in Classroom, but that's still a live room if you jump in it, right?
Correct.
So you could share that URL with only a specific group of students.
Correct.
Because if you click on that visible to all, then any kid that goes into Classroom can log in. But if you do it this way, exactly, you can just do a small subset of maybe you're the co-teacher for ESE and you only want to meet with your ESE students at a specific time. Then you just share it like she's sharing there with a specific student. So yeah.
That's a good question.
Yeah, great question. I'm thinking go ahead.
I was going to say, if you want to move back to my screen, I want to show everybody what they'll get.
For sure.
This is the handout, and this is what Rebecca just went through. So you will see she put together step-by-step instructions with screenshots so that you can see exactly what this entails using Google Classroom. And again, just like we've been saying, this is sort of an update and an improvement, and this meets the needs of a lot of people who are using Google Classroom. But if you already were meeting with several students with nicknames, we're not saying that that's not an option, because that still is an option if that worked for you. We're just giving you this information so that you can be a little bit more intentional in how you set up your meetings, especially if you're using Google Classroom. So these steps are in here, step by step, and what the students see, and also procedures and workflow for closing the meeting and resetting the code, ending the meeting, how to get students out if you need to manually remove them or mute. So this right here will be in the classroom. And also we found a lot of us follow Eric Kurtz, and we found his videos to be just completely awesome and easy to understand and very, very, very clear. So I do encourage you to take a look at his video on the integration between Meet and Classroom. Here's just a couple of little tidbits about installing the extensions, the grid view or the nod extensions, and how to turn it on and turn it off. And additional resources. I'm going to come back to this if we have any more questions. I just want to show you this slide that John was able to pull together for us. Again, specific questions that you might have that you need a little bit more background explanation for, and you want to have the time to do it on your own. Of course, you have our videos, but Eric Kurtz and these couple of other guys here, Josh, John, and Sean, these are some really good people to follow. So I encourage you to look them up in YouTube as well and follow them out. We'll have some specific things because of our district. So some things might look a little bit different, but the general workflow is pretty much the same. So we do recommend you take a look at those. And furthermore, if you need additional assistance, we're really fortunate to have our smart trainers to help us moderate this form. So anything at all that you need help with, any Google, any smart, please feel free to put it on this bit.ly, this help form at Tech. We check it all the time, and we want to be here to help you. We know that, we've been patient with this Google transformation along the way with Google Meet, but I'm just really happy to see that they've been listening and that they've been trying to help us to manage our virtual classrooms with students and make sure that they're more secure. So with that, do we have any other questions?
Yeah, one thing that did pop up, I really just want to make sure we address is one thing that happened is most of you probably saw grid view kind of went a little wonky yesterday, maybe the day before. The reason is as Google is building this stuff and updating their product, grid view is actually made by some person who works at a school somewhere. So it's not Google's product. So what happens is when Google updates, it breaks stuff that they've made. They have to fix it, resubmit it so that it can be posted. So if your grid view still is not working, go to that grid view link that we had posted earlier. I will repost it. And what you do is you go to the grid view and then you would click remove from Chrome. Then you click add to Chrome. And then if you're in a meet that time, refresh the meet, and then it should work perfectly fine again. If for some reason something like that breaks in the future, what we ended up doing was going to that link and looking at the support. There's an actual thing where people can add comments, and the developer was saying, yes, I resubmitted it. It'll be fixed soon. It'll be fixed soon. So that's how you can see if it's actually being worked on. And another question is about, can I see myself on how when I'm presenting? That's also one of the bigger issues. On our Google Meet page, I just posted a video again from Eric Kurtz that gives you some examples on how to see yourself while you're presenting. So I think he gives like 7 ways or something like that. It's one of those kind of 3 ways to see your students when presenting. So just hop to our website and watch that video, and you'll be able to see how you can see your kids and your screen. Yeah, so Tasha's going to show you the Google Meet page. When you scroll down, it's about, I would say, halfway through. Underneath of the teacher how-tos and all that stuff. Phyllis, there's the 3 ways right there in the middle there. That's that video to share, to see kids present your kids when you're presenting. The grid view does actually update automatically in Google Chrome, but it takes some time. So like we just went in ourselves and updated ourselves. It should actually update eventually though. So with that, ladies, I guess I will leave you guys. To finish out.
I just saw one question about being able to see the chat when presenting. Google Meet does allow you to log in as yourself more than one time. So you could, on a second monitor, log in again to have the chat up while you're presenting. And yes, parents have to install the Chrome extension. Anyone who's using Grid, you have to install the extension yourself.
So thank you guys for joining our Lunch and Learn. We hope that you got some really good information about the Google updates. Please feel free to check our website. We have our calendar there. This afternoon, we'll be doing the webinar with the STEM team. We're really excited about that.
No, that's tomorrow.
Oh, sorry. You know what? Yeah. I saw that little clip from the news where it said, "What day is it?" I think we need our own version of that. I'm sorry. Tomorrow, Google Forms and the STEM team is going to be here. So as with every sign off that we do, please be safe out there. And if you need anything, you know how to contact us. Thanks a lot.
We'll see you next week for the new Google Meet updates.
Yeah.